How's it going, everybody? My name is Rinzler here, back again for another video, and welcome back to my Tim Burton movie series. And today we're finally going to be talking about a movie that I've been putting off talking about for a while now, and that's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Like, seriously, I meant to talk about this a while ago. I was originally going to make this video after my Batman trilogy of videos was done, and then Superman Lives came along, and then I was going to make Charlie after Superman, and then I did the Pee-wee and the Big Fish videos. So anyway, if you haven't seen any of my other Tim Burton videos, I would recommend watching those now, but not before you watch this video, of course. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about why I think Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is so great. Now, I know that a lot of people love the original Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory movie, and I like it too. So I just want to preface this by saying that I'm not saying that Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, is great while Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory is terrible, this terrible, awful thing. That's not what I'm saying. I like both movies a lot. I just happen to like this one more, if that makes any sense. So without further ado, let's get into this video. So honestly, it'd be impossible for me to discuss the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory film without first talking about its 1971 counterpart, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Now, the original movie is heralded by many to be a childhood classic, and there aren't honestly too many people I know who haven't seen it yet. However, one man who refused to watch the movie was the author of the original book, Roald Dahl. Dahl hated Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory with a passion because it was so different from his book. Even the title wasn't the same due to Quaker Oats wanting to make the movie to basically advertise their own real life Wonka bars, which never actually came into fruition due to factory production issues, though the bars would eventually come into being later on. Anyways, Roald Dahl despised the original movie and refused to watch it. In fact, there's actually a pretty funny story about how Dahl was apparently flipping through the channels on TV and eventually stopped and watched the Willy Wonka movie. That is, until he realized what it was he was watching and quickly turned it off. Dahl unfortunately passed away in 1990, and in the late 90s and early 2000s, Warner Brothers, who'd bought the film rights away from Quaker Oats some time ago, began discussing the idea of a reboot. But this time around, the Dahl family insisted on being involved in the film's production in order to make a film adaptation that Roald Dahl would have approved. So much so that Roald Dahl's widow, Felicity Dahl, was named as producer of the film. And if you think that the Dahl family are the only ones who didn't like the original movie, there are legions of book fans, including myself, who also wanted a more faithful adaptation of the classic story. Ultimately, Warner Brothers went to their guy, good old Tim Burton, to direct the film. The Dahl estate were more than welcoming of Burton to the director's chair, due to him having produced the animated adaptation of Roald Dahl's other classic novel, James and the Giant Peach, with Henry Selick in 1996. Burton brought in John August, who had previously worked with him on Big Fish, to be the screenwriter, as similar to Burton, he was also a lifetime fan of the original story. There was apparently some studio clashing, though, about some of the characterizations. You see, apparently Warner Brothers wanted Charlie to not even have a father in the movie, and to have Wonka be like the father that Charlie never had, which was a lot like the original movie where he also didn't have a father. But Tim Burton was firmly against this, citing that Wonka was too much of a reclusive character to be a father figure for Charlie, and I have to personally say I agree with that. Now, there were a lot of different actors in consideration for the role of Willy Wonka, like a stupid amount. So brace yourselves because this is going to be a very, very, very long list. So, at home, I hope you all are doing a drum roll because this one's going to take a while. The potential actors for the role included Bill Murray, Christopher Walken, Steve Martin, Robin Williams, Nicolas Cage, Jim Carrey, Michael Keaton, Dwayne Johnson, Robert De Niro, Brad Pitt, Will Smith, Mike Myers, Ben Stiller, Leslie Nielsen, John Cleese, Eric Idle, Michael Palin, Patrick Stewart, and even Adam Goddamn Sandler. In the end, though, the studio luckily went with Burton's original choice, Johnny Depp, who had worked with Burton multiple times before with Sleepy Hollow, Ed Wood, and Edward Scissorhands. It was through Depp's casting that we also got our Charlie in this movie, as Depp specifically recommended up and coming British child actor Freddie Highmore for the role, as they previously worked together on Finding Neverland. Interestingly, Highmore had never seen the original movie before filming this one, and decided not to because he didn't want the original movie to affect his performance. The role of the Oompa Loompas, as you probably know, was all played by one guy. That guy being Deep Roy, who had previously worked with Tim Burton on Planet of the Apes and Big Fish, who would also go on to work with him again on The Corpse Bride. It was decided that only one actor would play the Oompa Loompas because Tim Burton felt that if all the Oompa Loompas ever did was work, then they should be in absolutely perfect sync when dancing with each other, sort of like a machine. Now, with the production history out of the way, why do I like this movie more than the original? Okay, so I'm getting this one out of the way. This is kind of a joke section of the video, but I still wanted to bring it up. So, basically, there's a Batman reference in this movie. The toothpaste factory that Charlie Bucket's father works at produces Smilex toothpaste, the same name of Joker's laughing gas in Batman 89. As you all know, I love the Tim Burton Batman movies, and this reference is just something that I really like. Now, the casting for the most part is perfection. Everyone feels suited to their roles. Jordan Fry does great playing the know-it-all gamer who doesn't really care about anybody but himself. Philip Vigretz, sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that. Philip Vigretz does great playing the gluttonous, over-pampered fat kid. Anna Sophia Robb is great as the overachieving child, seeking the approval of her mother, and Julia Winter is great at playing the spoiled, bratty child who wants the entire world. Their parents are well casted as well, in my opinion. Violet's mother clearly forces her daughter to be a competitor so she can live vicariously through her. Veruca's father is the asshole rich guy who's also a pushover when it comes to his daughter, and Mike TV's dad is the kind of parent who doesn't mind letting technology raise his child. Freddie Highmore's Charlie is also perfect in my opinion. He's a very selfless and likable child who, while he does have his own desires, is also ever caring about his family and knowledgeable about his limitations. He knows that his family is poor, but goes out of his way to make the absolute best of a bad situation. He's always eager to learn more and knows how to do the right thing. One thing I really hated about the original movie was the fizzy lifting drink scene. That's a tongue twister. I know it led to that final scene of Charlie giving back the gobstopper or whatever, but it also tainted Charlie in my opinion. It made it seem a little bit harder to root for him. It was an unnecessary deviation, but luckily there's no such scene in this movie. Charlie's a good kid through and through. One of my favorite scenes in the whole movie isn't even that big of a scene. It's when Charlie finds the golden ticket. And it's not even that part of the scene that I like. It's how these people try to buy the ticket from Charlie, and the shopkeeper is disgusted about it and tells these people to leave him alone. He then encourages Charlie to take it just straight home. I don't know why, but this scene makes me happy because it shows that not everyone is an asshole in the world. If I had one casting issue in this movie, it would have to be with Wonka himself. I personally think that they could have done way better than Johnny Depp. When I look back on the obnoxiously long list of actors, two names I think that would have been more suited to this role were Michael Keaton and Nicolas Cage. You know, both are just very versatile actors. Keaton had shown in past Burton films that he could be calm, insecure, and relatable, like in the Batman movies, but also mischievous, manipulative, and damn unpredictable, like in Beetlejuice. He would have made a fine Wonka. As for Nicolas Cage, well, I mentioned that I think he would have been a great Superman, but I also believe he could have been a great Willy Wonka. He's great at seeming withdrawn from everything around him, but also mysterious and unpredictable. His own madness in some movies is downright side-splitting. Either one of them, I think, would have been better than Johnny Depp in this role, who honestly came off as really creepy and annoying. I always felt like he was about to eat the children and then laugh it off like it was some sort of twisted joke. He's also so disinterested and rude to the kids sometimes that he comes off less like an enchanting role model and more like an immature asshole. Besides the mistake of Depp's casting, though, I love everything else about this movie. Except maybe the Loompa Land scene. It's kind of gross. Do I even really have to explain this one? It's Danny Elfman working on a Tim Burton movie. Come on, guys, you knew this was going to be on the list. The opening musical number is nice and upbeat while also retaining enough of that held back darker Burton charm to make you wonder and wonder about what's going to happen next. And don't even get me started on the Oompa Loompa songs. I personally found them to be more likable and hummable than the original songs. The old songs were not only completely not in the books, but there was also, for lack of a better word, no zazz to any of the songs, at least in my opinion. The new songs, however, are not only taken right from the book, but are each given their own style. I personally enjoyed all the songs. My personal favorite was Veruca's. It's just so damn calming and gets stuck in your head. And thank the gods there aren't any songs before they get to the factory like in the original movie, because I hated every single song before they got into the factory in the original movie. I especially hated Cheer Up Charlie. Something I really like about the songs in the book as well is that they have no defined rhythm or style, so you could sing them any way you want or imagine. But once again, Elfman, you have brought one of Burton's films to life with your beautiful music. Well done. Damn me, the sets in this movie are gorgeous. The factory looks way more like it should. It's massive, towering above everything and everyone around it. Just looking at it, you can't help but wonder what's going on inside. And man, oh man, the inside of that factory, let me tell you. The inventing room truly does look like absolutely anything could be going on in there, and has a wide variety of different types of machines, unlike the original, which had a lot of pointless stuff in it, if I'm being completely honest. The nut sorting room, actually has squirrels like in the book instead of geese, and it also seems a very clean and detailed. The effort put into actually training those squirrels to sit on those chairs and crack open nuts is true dedication in my opinion. The TV room feels large and majestic, and of course the chocolate room looks truly like anything could be eaten in it. It has such a myriad of colors and unique candy choices like the edible grass and the giant cherry trees that grow off the bank of the river. And speaking of the river, that chocolate river looks good. It looks like chocolate. The original, on the other hand, did not look like chocolate. It looked like brown water, and apparently it tasted like shit. So, yeah. Now, the new chocolate river looks like hot melted chocolate. There's a scene in the movie where Wonka actually gives Charlie a ladle of this stuff, and I could actually taste it. Even the Great Glass Elevator looks better since, it's actually made of all glass like it's supposed to be. I'm well aware they didn't have the resources or the money to make these kind of sets in 1971, but still, come on, man, you can't tell me these don't look better. Also, some people have complained about the CGI in this movie, but for the most part, everything is an actual model, and the usage of CG isn't all that distracting or noticeable for the most part, in my opinion. The original movie has a good moral to it, don't get me wrong. It teaches you to be patient and kind-hearted, and eventually something good might happen to you. But in this movie, the new moral holds up a bit better for me personally. It teaches you about the importance of your family. Wonka spent most of his life hating on the concept of family because he thinks it affects people's creativity. But Charlie helps Wonka reconcile with his father and understand that your family isn't trying to dampen your creativity. They're just trying to let you know that they care about you because they love you. And for me, that's a really good moral to leave off on. So thank you guys for watching this video. It took me a very long time to make this video. So let me know if you enjoyed this video by giving it a thumbs up. Share this video with all of your friends and family on all of your various social media platforms. Ring that notification bell for me to watch all of my videos. And let me know in the comments down below what you liked and didn't like about this video. And I will see all you dudes and chicks in the next video.